In the bustling metropolis of New York City, Sam Wheat, portrayed by Patrick Swayze, a banker, and his partner Molly Jensen, played by Demi Moore, a skilled potter, move into a new apartment. While they work on some minor renovations, Sam stumbles upon an old penny and gives it to Molly as a token of good fortune. At his workplace, Sam discovers irregularities in some bank accounts and confides in his trusted friend and colleague, Carl Brunner, played by Tony Goldwyn. Although Carl offers to investigate the matter, Sam decides to conduct his own investigation. One evening, after watching a play, Sam and Molly are assaulted by a gun-wielding thug named Willie Lopez, played by Rick Aviles. In the ensuing fight, Sam is fatally shot, and he watches as Willie flees the scene. As Sam's spirit chases after his killer, he ultimately fails to catch him and returns to the scene only to witness Molly's grief-stricken reaction to his death. A mysterious white light appears, calling Sam to the afterlife, but he refuses to leave Molly behind. He soon realizes, however, that his presence is undetectable to Molly, and he struggles to come to terms with his new state of being. Despite his new ethereal form, Sam cannot help but remain near his and Molly's previous apartment, feeling despondent that he cannot communicate with her and seeing her suffer from the trauma of his death. Molly is visited by Carl, who convinces her to take a brief walk. While she is out, Willie comes to the apartment and begins searching for something. When Molly returns, Sam startles their cat, which then attacks Willie, causing him to run away. Sam follows Willie to the Brooklyn area and learns his identity, but he soon realizes that he is powerless to prevent Willie from attacking Molly once again. As he leaves Willie's location, Sam stumbles upon the shop of Oda Mae Brown, portrayed by Whoopi Goldberg, a fraudulent spiritual medium who deceives her clients into believing she can communicate with their deceased loved ones. Sam quickly realizes that Oda Mae can hear him and enlists her help to warn Molly of the danger she is in. Willie still possesses Sam's wallet, which contains their address. Despite Oda Mae's attempts to relay the message to Molly, she is unable to convince her of the danger. Molly remains in a state of shock and refuses to believe Oda Mae's words. Carl, on the other hand, manages to sway Molly into thinking that Oda Mae is a con artist. Sam soon uncovers the truth about Carl's involvement in a fraudulent money laundering scheme at the bank, and that the attack on him was an attempt to obtain his security codes. Despite Sam's efforts to warn Molly through Oda Mae, she remains unconvinced and even seeks help from the police, who confirm Oda Mae's reputation as a known fraudster. Through an unexpected encounter with a hostile poltergeist on a New York City subway, played by Vincent Schiavelli, Sam discovers that he can move solid objects with his mind. He uses this newfound ability to persuade Oda Mae to help him thwart Carl's money laundering scheme by impersonating the owner of Carl's fraudulent bank account. While Oda Mae visits the bank, Sam accompanies her unseen and guides her to withdraw the account's balance before closing it and receiving a cashier's check. As they exit the bank, Sam convinces Oda Mae to donate the substantial sum of $4 million to a pair of nuns raising funds for a homeless shelter. Though initially reluctant and apprehensive, Oda Mae ultimately agrees after Sam explains that keeping the money would jeopardize her safety. With Sam's guidance and Oda Mae's willingness to help, they successfully thwart Carl's scheme and put the laundered money to good use. After discovering that the fraudulent bank account has been closed and the laundered money has been donated to charity, Carl becomes desperate and visits Molly in an attempt to extract information from her. Upon learning that Oda Mae was at the bank during the same time as Molly, Carl deduces that she was the one responsible for closing the account. He then threatens to harm Molly if the money isn't returned. Sam realizes the gravity of the situation and rushes to Oda Mae's apartment to warn her of the impending danger. Together with Oda Mae and her assistants, they attempt to hide from Carl and Willie. However, when Willie appears, Sam intervenes and engages in a violent altercation with him. In the ensuing chaos, Willie attempts to flee from Sam but is tragically killed in a traffic accident. In a terrifying turn of events, Willie's ghost emerges from the wreckage, only to be seized by a group of menacing demons and dragged into the darkness, presumably to hell. Later, Sam and Oda Mae make their way to Molly's apartment to warn her about Carl. Despite their efforts, Molly refuses to let them in and collapses in despair. Undeterred, Sam enters the apartment and instructs Oda Mae to slide a penny under the front door, lifting it into the air in front of Molly. The penny triggers a memory for Molly, who finally grasps the truth and allows Oda Mae inside. After alerting the police to Carl's plans, Oda Mae agrees to let Sam possess her body, granting him one last dance with Molly. Meanwhile, Carl arrives, intent on harming Molly and Oda Mae. Sam is briefly weakened by his possession of Oda Mae, leaving the women to fend for themselves. After evading Carl for a short time, he grabs Oda Mae and threatens her with a gun for the money. Molly comes to Oda Mae's aid but is thrown aside just as Sam recovers and rushes to their aid. As Carl attempts to escape through a nearby window, he flings a scaffolding hook in Sam's direction, causing the upper part of the window to shatter and rain down on him. The hook pierces through Carl's chest, leaving him astonished as he becomes a ghost. Sam watches in silence as shadowy demons appear and drag Carl into the abyss, grieving for the tragic end of his former friend. After Sam approaches Oda Mae and Molly to ensure their safety, Molly experiences a sudden realization. She can hear him. A celestial radiance fills the room, and Sam materializes before both women. Behind him, a gathering of numerous individuals, likely angels, becomes visible. Having fulfilled his mission, Sam understands that it is time for him to move on. He expresses gratitude to Oda Mae for her invaluable assistance and bids a poignant farewell to Molly before departing for the afterlife.